Welcome back, Sick Podcast Anvil Show family. We got some things to discuss, and we're gonna discuss them. So, just want to let you know. Go ahead, get your stuff together. Like I said, we got you for 60 minutes or however long you're hanging there with us because we got a lot to talk about. So, without further ado, Sammy, bring us in.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Anvil Show.
But on an intercepted, Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Yes, sir. And this sick. Yes, that is the official sound of the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. We welcome you back. You know who we are. I'm CJ. You know who it is right next to me, at least digitally. I think right here.
Digitally.
Let the people know who you are.
They call me Big P.
Yeah, so on that note, we're going to, you know what, we got a lot to discuss, right? We got a lot to discuss. So we are definitely going to be discussing a lot this evening, but make sure that you are liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Make sure that we go ahead and get those numbers up, okay? Add to the family because you know what? It's a family affair anytime we're together. So either way, let's just get into it, right? Because I mean, you know, we go from not having any news at all to having all the news in the world to talk about, and it is actually the latter and not the former. So I don't know which one do you want to jump into first, Pat? Because I think we need to, like I said, either way, we got two loaded topics that we are going to be able to discuss. So I mean, we could actually just go ahead and just talk about AR's shoulder first, because yeah. So initially, it looked like there was some issues in regards to AR's shoulder. They talk about some things possibly keeping him, you know, out of work, or you know, just causing him to miss some of minicamp. And lo and behold, here we are. We've heard reports of AR being out only for a few weeks. He should be good for training camp. They said it's just soreness. He's now consulting with the same surgeon that did his, I'm going to say that did his shoulder procedure when he injured his AC joint during his rookie season. So I mean, I have to ask, Pat, like, from all the information that we've gotten thus far, is there reason to be concerned now? If
Yes.
so, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
There's absolutely a ton to be concerned about right now. For the simple fact is, you don't fly out to California to see your surgeon because your shoulder is sore. If it's sore, you ice it, you rest it, you come back in a few days. Bada bing, bada boom, it's done. So when I say it's this serious, it's because they haven't given us an actual reason why he's seeking a second opinion with the surgeon that did the original surgery.
Yeah.
So is it truly just sore, or is there something else going on that we don't know about? And I went to the dark side on this one, thinking, crap, there's something more serious going on if he wants to see the surgeon again versus just putting some ice and resting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my take on it. Now, I don't have any flies on the wall. I don't have any inside sources or any of that other BS. So I'm not going to BS anybody else. But that's the way I'm taking it, only because of his reaction to what the Colts are saying.
Yeah.
It is something to me is afoot here.
Yeah.
And we're not given the whole picture as to why he's seeking a second opinion. Okay, why do you need a second opinion if your shoulder is sore? Chris, if I tell you my shoulder's sore, are you just going to believe me? Or are you going to tell me to go get a second opinion?
Yeah.
You're going to believe me and say, all right, dude, rest up, put some ice on it. We'll see you in a couple days.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Yeah, and I think I think that's what's going on, Teresa. What's up, Kevin? What's up, Sean? What's going on, everybody? Glad you're tuning in. So for me, there is cause for concern, right? Because the problem is that we know the work that he did in the off season, right? And I keep on going back to the fact that Josh Allen, when he went to go see that mechanics coach, the mechanics coach talked about the fact that because of the volume that he was throwing at, and because of the fact that he's throwing the way that he's throwing, that it then became an issue for him to throw the way that he needed to. So that's why he needed to go to the mechanics coach to make sure that he's not just throwing with pain, because that's what he was doing initially, I think, in his first and second season, as opposed to him being able to really reel that in. AR, going through the mechanics coaching and everything, now we see that it's just like he's having some soreness with that AC joint. And so for me, in my trying to figure things out, and once again, I don't know that this is the case. I'm not saying that it's valid, but what I'm saying is that one of those things that you're looking at is the fact that he went to this mechanics coach to try to go and fix these things in terms of his arm, making sure that he's not having any issues in terms of his passing, just trying to get those things down, and then having this issue with his arm again. So it's just like, is this maybe like the aftermath of the mechanics coaching, just him just kind of going back into terrible things, or I'm not going to say terrible, but I'm going to say going back into bad habits? Like, honestly, I just don't know. But the thing is, it actually is cause for concern, because this is more time away from the team. And
at that aspect, you're 100% right. Just that aspect alone, that he's missing reps again, is cause for concern. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but man, you hit it right on the nose right there, brother. Right on the nose.
And that's the thing, because and I think I said this last week or the week before. I do believe that AR is essentially going to be the starter, but that was prior to this. And now you have another offseason where you're away from the team and not able to cement yourself and build chemistry. Daniel Jones has the ability to be out there on the field with those guys, but then he also has the ability to make sure that he's saying, you know what, let me use some of this money I robbed the Giants of, and I want to take the offense out to dinner. I'm going to take everybody out. We're going to go eat, and we're going to do this. And I want to go and I want to make sure that we do this. He's getting the chance to form all these individual things. Like, let's just say, for example, if he decides to go to Pittman's farm and they end up driving around on ATVs, and then the next day he's throwing dots to him, then, I mean, that's going to bode very well for that relationship and that chemistry, where even if AR comes back, if you already have a chemistry with Daniel Jones, then it's going to be for whoever. Like, it's going to be for whoever it is. And we know, like, when we talk to Josh at his camp, when we talk to Ogletree at Josh Downs' camp, those guys were just like, listen, I'm just looking forward to playing with whoever's going to give me put me in the best possible position to succeed. So, I mean, at that point, AR is still, like I said, and I'm sure like everybody loves being around him. Like, he's a lovable guy, but he's not doing himself any favors by not being out on that field. And that's the reason why right now it's like, sir, you're clock. I think it's as Matt said in the chat, he said time is ticking, and it's ticking extremely fast. And it's ticking fast for somebody who doesn't have a lot of time, because now you're essentially waiting until training camp because you have to rest your arm. Yeah, and how's that going to bode for the rest of the season?
And what do they always say the NFL stands for?
And not for long.
Not for long. And, man, you got to be on that field. You absolutely have to. Now, if it really is sore and there is a setback, I want him to rest it. It's okay. You can miss these reps in minicamp. It's what, 3 days, 4 days this week? That's it. You can make that.
Yep.
You can make that time up before training camp starts.
Yeah.
So I'm okay if it's just the soreness. He's overthrown in the offseason, working with that quarterback coach out in Florida. Did this, did that, and it needs a rest. Go ahead and let it rest. I'm all for it. I'll even send him some CBD cream, absolutely free. Get that soreness out of there. Because Anthony's still my guy. But I'm just really, really concerned because of the fact he's going to California to get a second opinion. You don't get a second opinion about soreness.
Yeah, soreness and inflammation.
Yeah, you just don't. And that's really, really messing with my head. Like, is he going to have to go back under the knife and miss another full season?
Yeah.
If that's the case, man, he's done for here. He's
Yep.
not done for in the NFL, but you would actually think that he would absolutely be done for in Indianapolis. And that's going to hurt, because I really like this kid. I really do. And I still believe he's got the highest ceiling I've seen of any athlete.
Yeah. He has, the problem is that he is the biggest anomaly that can't get out of his own way. And like, the crazy thing is that if he doesn't get it together now, I can see him sitting on a bench in Minnesota. I can see him sitting somewhere where there's a coach who will be able to take the time to have him truly develop and do the things that he needs to do. And, by the time that he ends up being 25, 26, he'll no longer be this. And I don't mean this in like a disrespectful way, but I said it earlier today. Anthony Richardson is like this movie that I saw back when I was a kid. This kid finds an alien suit, and he literally does not know how to use it. The suit ends up getting beat up.
Are you talking about Ben 10?
No, not Ben 10.
Because that's not a movie. That's a cartoon.
Show. I know. I'm talking about Starboy. You don't know that one.
No, I don't know that one.
Exactly.
I know Ben 10 though.
Of course, you know Ben 10. You
Damn
know
right.
Ben 10. Yes, because he was on Fortnite. Yes. But no, but the thing is, he didn't truly figure out how to use this alien, vessel, body, whatever you want to call it, until like damn near the end of the movie. And that's what Anthony Richardson, I believe, is running into now. Like, he is just this man child, and not to say that he's immature, but he's just this man child who has this body that he doesn't know how to use or protect properly. So it has all the ability in the world, but he just truly doesn't know how to just reel it all in and make it so that it's all working for him at the same time. So
I definitely see that.
Yeah, it stinks. Hey, Sammy said you look like Grandpa Max from Minton. later years, the one that had the metal arm. That one, yeah, that was the one. So, but in all fairness, I think, like I said, it's not that I'm not rooting for AR anymore, because I absolutely still am. But the problem is that at this point, I can no longer just I have to truly see him do what he needs to do, or him go out there, before I can say that yes, he 100% is the guy. And I mean, even now, it's just like, if Daniel Jones goes out there, then cool. I don't want Daniel Jones out there, but I mean, if he's the one who's healthy, who's available, then we got to rock with him.
I get that. And I see people on Twitter all the time. Yay, it's Danny Dimes time. Yay, this. Yay, Danny this. Yay, Danny that. We're in a good spot now. What has that man done in the last 6 years in New York gives you that confidence? Because he doesn't ooze that confidence from me. I've seen him the last 6 years, and he has been mid.
Yeah. But
that does not
but
excite me. He gets
but Pat,
cut mid-season. The franchise quarterback getting cut mid-season. That does not excite me, him coming here. So what is it that man's done in his career that's getting all these people excited? I don't get it. I would be more excited. I would be more excited for Bean or come on, the dude from Leonard. Yes. I'd be more excited about them because they've got potential that we haven't seen yet. We've seen what Danny can do. And that doesn't excite me at all. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. Now, if he's the starter day one, I'm definitely rooting for him. I won't go against the horseshoe. Absolutely not. But as we're just speaking on different topics, I don't see what the excitement about Danny Dimes is.
Well, the problem. So here's the thing, and I think the excitement around Daniel Jones, because I'm not going to call him Danny Dimes. I'm not going to call him that. No, we're not doing that. But the excitement around Danny Dimes is the excitement that Colts fans kind of do because there's a rhetoric and there's always this notion that no matter who the player is, if they come here, we believe that we have everything they need to be so much better than what we've seen previously, right? So, what's going to be the talking point for Daniel Jones has been, oh, well, we have a better O-line, we have better weapons, we have this, we have that. And so it's this
We did the same thing when Carson Wentz got here, and look what he did.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying.
Lost our way out of the playoffs is what that dude did.
Yes, and it's this belief. It's this belief that no matter what situation they were in before, when they come here, we're going to have something that's going to be so much better than what they had before. We have this mentality where we see this girl at a party hooking up with all these guys, and then we get to her, then we're just like, no, you come with me. I'll save you. I'll give you everything you're looking for. I'll love you properly. And it's just like, did you not just see what I did over there? And you're okay with this? Okay, then that's fine. Like, that's what we are. We have this we can save them mentality. And that's the thing that is just ridiculous to me, because take it for what it is. It's not like he had 2 years in the league and he was cut after having he had a bad year after having a good year, and then they cut him. We had 6 years to check this out. It's like the same people who were saying, oh, we should get Sam Darnold. Why? He was in the league for 7 years. He had one good year after having 6 awful years. And he went to San Fran, where generally, if you go to San Fran and you can't be successful, you probably shouldn't be a starter at all.
All right. And I want to go back to the comments here, because Matthew, you're 100% right on the stats between Jones and Richardson. You're absolutely 100% correct. They're damn near identical. But what's not identical is the time in league and the ceiling that each one of these have. I believe we've seen Jones's ceiling in New York. I honestly believe we've seen it. I don't think this guy is getting any better. We have not even begun to reach Richardson's ceiling. And Sammy, bring up Teresa's last comments. Thank you. She says, hold on there. Jones hasn't had a squad to work with. This is the best squad he's had ever. You might not be wrong on that, but he did have Shaquan Barkley. He did have, was it Joey Gallo as a receiver?
Oh,
it helped me out with the receivers back then. But he had a couple of damn good receivers.
He's had guys, and not only that, but the thing is, he had Malik Neighbors.
O-line. He might not have the best defense, but you're what you're saying here is that he's coming into a Colts organization that was 31 in defense and bottom 20 offense, and you're saying that's a better squad than he had in New York. I don't see that point. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm definitely not saying you're right. Now what we've got this year looks really good on paper, but again, we've seen this team look damn good on paper and come out do absolutely nothing. And I'm hiccuping like I just got done drinking 6 beers straight in a row. But see, and that's my problem with Jones. You can spin it any way you want, but I can spin it right back. It was out there with Memo. Kiki. I told you I had baby duties tonight.
It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, you got an Omaha moon pie.
I didn't do that. That wasn't on me.
Way to go, Sammy. You're mean.
Hi.
They can't see you. All right, come here. Say hi real quick.
Okay.
Say hi.
Hi.
What's going on?
Hi.
Say, when you gonna come see me, Chris?
How you come see me, Chris?
I'm going to be out there in July, okay?
July. Say,
so we got a deal. You got to shake on it. You got to shake on it.
Shake on it.
You got to shake on it.
Okay, now back to the show. Okay, go out there with Memos. Thank you. And this interruption is brought to you by Toys R Us, where kids get to be a kid.
Hey, listen, don't tempt them, okay? They're making a comeback.
Shut my door, please. Shut my door.
Oh boy. Hey, by the way, one of our watchers, Brent, he's a diehard Ohio State fan, the Ohio State University fan. He says Daniel Jones the football god. So, just want to make sure we put that out there.
Brent, you are breaking my heart. Absolutely breaking my heart.
Yeah. And then we can answer.
We need that soundbite from that song. Isn't that yes. Gloria Estefan? Don't go breaking my heart.
Oh no!
Who is that?
That wasn't Gloria Estefan. That was wait. It might have been. I don't know. Listen, we're getting.
Hey, if anybody in the chat is musically knowledgeable, let me know who sings that song.
I think
we're gonna put that soundtrack in here just for Brent. I think he likes breaking my heart.
But you know what? And that was Elton John and Kiki D.
Really? Don't go breaking my heart.
Yes.
Oh, it was, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes, it was, sir. But and then we do have
showing my age.
Like I said, I wanna just highlight this question, and then we're gonna talk about the press conference.
Okay.
What players do you think are going to make an impact this year on both sides, offense and defense? And they can just be one player offense, one player defense for each of us.
Well, this, believe it or not, in my opinion, Chris, this is a very hard one to just draw down to one, because I think we've got multiple players that are going to show a lot of improvement this year. One, I think Latu absolutely just goes berserk with Coach Lou.
Yeah.
I think JT is going to wear the blue cleats and just run massive amount of yards. I really anticipated Anthony, to have the biggest turnaround, but now that question is up in the air.
Yeah.
So if I'm to pick two, man, I really do believe Latu is going to come out under Coach Lou just in beast mode. And I think JT puts the blue cleats back on.
Yeah.
And goes crazy.
Gotcha. Okay. It for me, I mean, if I'm looking at if I'm looking at both sides of the ball, I think Josh Downs for me. I think he's going to be that guy who's going to. I think he's going to get his regardless. Like if we're just being honest, um, and if I'm also being real about the defensive side of the ball, I think we may end up seeing a major step up. I'm going to say from Jalen Jones. And that's just because of the fact that
Okay.
Lou's going to be using a lot of heavy cornerback sets, heavy secondary sets. And I can see him being in there, especially being able to I'm going to say play press coverage now, playing in a more aggressive defense. And I think him being able to play in a more aggressive defense is going to do wonders for him because, like I said, he has the height. I'm going to say he's low key very strong. But then also, he's going to have the ability to just play a little bit more naturally to how he played in college and how he played when he succeeds, as opposed to just standing there and waiting in a deep zone. So I think Jalen is going to be able to eat if he's able to just stay healthy and just continue to do everything that we believe he can do. So that's where we stand with that.
Matthew, the second part of the show, we're going to cover that press conference and give you our take on the ladies.
Yes, and
The
as a matter of
ladies
fact,
of the shoe.
yes, and as a matter of fact, we are at the second part of the show. So we are going to talk about daughters now.
All right. Sammy, you want to play that clip for us real quick, and then we'll jump into it. That's all right with you, Bob.
Would be an understatement. Miss him terribly would be an understatement. We are so proud to continue our dad's legacy, beginning with carrying out his foremost wish to keep the Colts in our family. We want our fans to know that we've spent decades in our family business learning every aspect of our organization under our dad's leadership. It was sometimes trial by fire, and I'm forever grateful for the invaluable experience that I've gained. It has prepared me and my sisters for moments like today.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was a lot to uncover in that press conference. I like this clip because the question of leadership and leadership style has come up almost every day since the boss man's passing.
Yeah.
And right there, they answered those questions.
Yeah.
They have
they did.
been in the organization since itty bitties. They have learned everything from ticket sales, equipment manager, you name it. Everything through that building they've learned. You don't get that kind of knowledge sitting at home drinking mimosas. You get that kind of knowledge going to work with your dad, seeing how your dad does it. Now, I'm sure they're going to have their spin on leadership and expectations. And if you follow either Romeo the Kid or Jake Arthur, they both made comments about what Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen has to fix. So they see it too. So to me, that's all good signs going forward.
Yeah.
Now we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how they handle adversity. Because that's a big part of leadership. Because you don't always succeed. You don't always reach the mountaintop, especially not in this league.
Yeah.
So a good leader is going to be able to handle that adversity, move a little to the right, move a little to the left, make your adjustments, come out swinging. We'll see what happens. But from what they've said so far, I'm down. I'm absolutely down. And where was
Absolutely.
it? And Matthew also asked if the players and coaching staff is on high alert.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah, I absolutely think so. A regime change is always going to tighten everybody's tail end up. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Because you get everybody's worked jobs. Everybody got to know their supervisor or their manager or their owner of the company, and they get comfortable.
Yep.
Now, a new manager, a new owner, or a new supervisor comes in, you tighten it up because you just don't know that person.
Yeah.
You no longer have that comfortability. So yeah, absolutely. I think everybody's on high alert right now because new owners, new way of doing things.
Yeah, and you know, and I think just to even double down on that, they spoke about their dad, but then when they started talking, you know that they are coming from more of a business mindset, more so than speaking from, you know, I'm gonna say kind of like that family, that whole dynamic. Like I get it, like they mentioned relationships, but they didn't go into things talking about, you know, we want to keep the family together. We're gonna like the only time they mentioned family was their dad and keeping the organization and the family itself. But outside of that, when they talked, they were just like Chris and Shane have some things they need to fix. And so for them, speaking in terms of that, it's like, okay, you already know. They spoke on the standard. The standard is winning. And even beyond winning, the standard is to be the best. And no matter what no matter what you take away from that, if you say the standard is winning and the standard is to being the best, then that means that now you have to focus on making sure that the best possible product is out there on the field. So, I mean, we can, like I said, we can speculate on everything in regards to what they did. As far as I'm concerned, this press conference was the best introductory press conference that we're going to have in regards to what's supposed to happen moving forward. Because there's no way that we're going to sit there and we're going to actually believe that they are just going to be okay if for some reason this team, let's just say, goes 7-10, 8-9, with keeping everything the way that it is, and then just telling them you got to do better so we can be the best. No, we already saw, and like I said, I'm not sure what the context was behind it, but we already saw Morocco Brown is gone. For whatever reason, Morocco Brown's gone, and Morocco Brown has been there for 7 years.
Yeah.
He's been there almost as long as Ballard has,
And he's been Ballard's number one guy.
Yes.
Out there in the on the recruiting trail. Absolutely.
Yes.
Or the scout trail, not the recruiting trail.
Exactly. So I mean, it's I'm gonna say the way that they came out today, and I didn't expect them to come out and give us a bunch of platitudes or come out and just say, yes, like this is what we're gonna do. Is Chris on the hot seat? Yes, Chris on the hot seat. I didn't expect any of that because when they came in, they had to establish themselves for the first time as the new owners of the Indianapolis Colts. And that's exactly what they did. But moving forward, if they have another one, I'm going to say that one's going to be a little bit harder hitting because I think that one's going to go over exactly what's supposed to happen moving forward and what should happen in regards to the organization. Because I mean, at the end of the day, when you mention winning, now you understand that they're no longer playing this long game thing. We're not doing the long game. Winning is what is most important. This isn't going to be an in the mix scenario like Chris said last season. This isn't going to be one of those things where you're going to say, "Oh yeah, we're close," or it's just like, you know, there's a couple things that we could have done differently. No, the expectation is to win, and it's been said out loud. So we are. I don't think we're going to be getting any more of the, "Oh well, we're going to see what happens." No, it's going to be, you're going to have to put up or shut up. And then okay. So there's been a lot of rumors going around, right? So Teresa said, if you Google Peyton Manning, it says he's going to be a co-owner of the Colts. Any knowledge? I don't think he's going to be a co-owner. I have a feeling that they could possibly maybe bring him in some way, shape, or form. But the thing is, right now, I think he's pretty content with how things are going with the Broncos. Because I think what happened with the Broncos is that the Broncos welcomed him with open arms, but they also welcomed him into the fold of the organization. I just think it's a little bit different with Peyton Manning now because, I'm not saying that they had animosity or anything, but I think Peyton Manning also knew the girls. He knew who they were because Irsay. If you know Jim Irsay, you know the family. So I mean,
Yeah, he basically he watched them grow up.
Oh yeah,
with his tender here during that time.
Yeah, and it's just like growing from kids to even Carly just starting to work in those things, and even Casey and Kaylin, just being able to see them just kind of start to branch into their own things within the organization as well. So, I mean, this isn't something that is, that's I'm gonna say, oh, as far as co-owner, probably not. I don't think so. But I'm gonna say it's just like when they talked about like team president, just kind of saying what they said in regards to that. I mean, I could see Peyton Manning possibly coming back in some type of facet later on. I just think that right now it's just like they're trying to establish themselves in the best way possible. And I think we're going to see exactly what they plan on doing in order to I think they're going to see what they can do this season to see exactly how they're going to move from there. But I don't think that it's out of the realm of possibility that everybody is on the hot seat that isn't named, DeForest Buckner or, Quentin Nelson or some of those other players on the team because there's no
Jonathan
way.
Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor, like I think there's maybe a solid 8 guys that I think that while people will say, yeah, you can go ahead and maybe trade them away, I think there's a solid like 8 guys that you just say, yeah, no, we're probably untouchable.
Probably.
So I
But
mean,
I'm okay. Teresa made a comment, but give them a chance. Absolutely. My take on it is, if they've truly been around the locker room in this game their entire lives, probably a lot smarter than any of us. Just because you're a female doesn't mean you don't know what the hell's going on a football field. It's having that experience around that football field that gives you that knowledge. And they've definitely shown that they've got that experience around the football field. So I'm okay with it. We'll see what they do. Like I said, the only real test for their leadership in the near future is how they're going to handle adversity. From the get-go, they've already got a situation in Anthony and his shoulder.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the question and who asked it, but a couple of people has written about it, and they've all said they believe AR is incredibly talented.
Yeah,
but he's got to be on the field and prove it.
Oh yeah.
So that right there shows you their level of intelligence. They're not crowning this young kid because he can be a megastar in this league and absolutely take over this league. They said, yeah, he can do it, but he's got to want to do it. He's got to show us that he can do it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, no, and what I was going to say was just to your point, they spoke about AR saying that they still believe in his ability. They still believe in what it is. And I think that drew the ire of the fan base because of the fact that, they're looking at AR like, oh, he's hurt again. Like he's not able to be out there with the team. And so there was frustration, but I don't see anything wrong with still saying that, yes, you have the ability to play. We believe he absolutely can play the position. That doesn't mean that he also isn't on the hot seat. I just think the way that you just don't do it, because more often than not, when when you have coaches or when you have GMs, owners that call players out, it generally doesn't go well. It shows dysfunction because it shows that you have somebody who is just not looking at things the way that they're supposed to, and they're almost looking at things from a skewed standpoint. And so for me, I'm not looking at what she said about AR as, oh boy, well, no matter what, even if he's hurt, he's still going to be here. I'm not looking at it as that. I'm looking at her being a new owner saying, hey, we still believe in AR. If he plays, he plays. But that's not to say we still believe in AR. He's still going to be QB1 regardless. No matter what, he's the
Yeah,
guy. If they
there
would
was
have said
no
that,
pie in the sky BS from him. That's what I
yeah,
took. And as a fan, I really appreciate that. I don't
yeah.
like the pie in the sky, hey, everything's rainbows and sunshine. No, it's not.
hmm
So don't try to sell me rainbows and sunshine when I know it's friggin' storming out.
Exactly. Like that's all the more reason why I like this press conference. And like I said, I know that they're going to do something else later on that maybe is a little bit more in depth. But because of the fact that this is introductory, this is exactly what we needed to understand as a fan base because of the fact that everybody's just like, why haven't they said anything? Why haven't they said anything? Well, the reason why they haven't said anything is because they're still mourning the loss of their father, where you still have a lot that you need to do. Not only that, but this man was a businessman, and so you have to go through everything in order to do it. Because I don't know if anybody has had anybody who's passed, anybody in their life, but the thing is, I don't know if you understand just what it takes to deal with the passing of a person who isn't a billionaire. And so for me, I'm going to be patient with exactly how you go about making sure that they're doing it. They gave us a press conference. And mind you, I said that it would probably be maybe towards the end of minicamp, in between minicamp and possibly the beginning of training camp. And then they gave us one today.
Yep, that's where I was at with it too. And to be respectful, I wasn't trying to rush nobody.
Yeah. And not you. I wasn't speaking about you specifically, but I'm just saying
No,
like
I
people
know
just
what you
needing,
mean.
yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah, we see all that.
that's
We see all the comments too, dude.
yeah. Yeah,
When
we're
are they
we're
gonna talk? They just buried their dad. Simmer down.
yeah, and it's like
Jeez.
and as a fan base, I know we have an expectation, and I know that we have to be able to understand that yes, while we do have an expectation, we also have to deal with the very human aspect of the fact that Jamersey is deceased, and there were people who were responsible for him. It's not like he was a billionaire. He went into a pod and then ejected himself into space, and then everything just worked itself out. There's a lot that goes into that, and so that's all the more reason why now them choosing to do that today. I mean, honestly, it's just like for me, that's impressive, especially mourning people. Like that mourning process is different.
Yep.
So I mean, as far as it goes right now, we are still looking at them just trying to make sure that they get everything together. And like I said, it's just like I think we're going to hear from them later on, but we just have to go ahead and just like I said, just have very very realistic expectations for them moving forward. So but the thing is, I'm fine with the press conference we got today because like I said, they introduced themselves as the owners, and they also let us know exactly what it is to potentially expect moving forward. Chris and Shane, no matter whether you like Chris or you don't like Chris, or whether you like Shane or you don't like Shane, she let it be known there is a 100% a standard, and there's going to be a standard that they're going to go according to. Are they going to micromanage them? In their words, no. But there is going to be a standard where you have to win. Your winning is not going to be negotiable. Development is not going to be negotiable. Now you have to put up or shut up, or find a job elsewhere.
Yep. Pretty much. That's the reality of it, in my opinion. Regardless if I like it or not, it truly is the reality. Now, before we cut off, as our time's running short here, we got to say hi to some new family people that will be joining the show with us. And they've made our show international. Because starting tomorrow, we will be on the VIP lounge in Cardiff, Wales, in the UK.
Oh,
so everybody out that's listening in Wales, welcome to the Anvil family. Hope you guys enjoy our content. I hope you guys enjoy our perspectives. And just know this, we're not journalists. So we don't ask clickbait questions. We ask real fan questions because that's what we are. Now, everybody in Wells, you can get on YouTube. Follow the Sick Podcast Anvil Show on YouTube. Make sure you do, because whenever we do drawings for giveaways, that's where we pull the winners from. And everybody that follows the YouTube page is 100% already included in all drawings. And that goes for everybody on Z103.com and Mix105.
Yep.
So all you guys just keep that in mind. Go to YouTube, just hit the subscribe button. It costs you $0. And hell, you could win something. I don't know what we're going to steal from Clyde to give away, but we'll get him. We'll get him to come off of something.
It's okay. He's got plenty. Don't worry about it. So yeah, we got it.
Well, yes. Hello, Miss Stacy. Glad you joined us.
And by the way, to the people who will eventually be listening in the UK, I take back everything I said about your food. It's absolutely pleasant, and it's
a hell of an introduction right there.
Yes, absolutely, yes. But yeah, no, but it's all good. Like I said, we know it's good. And besides, I didn't say anything bad about your food. Pat did. Pat said it all. He said it was not good. He said he's not a fan of brickle brackle. So he's just this
is for all the new Wells listeners. Now listen here, mate.
They're not Australian.
They still say mate. Have you not ever talked to anybody from the UK?
I've talked to people from the UK.
Then you've heard them say mate.
Not like that. You said it in a very Australian way.
All right, we got our first controversy here for the Wells crew. If I am wrong, next Tuesday, get into the YouTube, into the live, get into the chat, and tell us if you say mate or not. Because I'm going to prove this guy wrong. This guy that's been lying about your food because he's uncultured.
I've eaten pie and mash before.
And you didn't like it? What is wrong with you?
It's an acquired taste.
No. Pig's feet and chitlins is an acquired taste.
First off, that is a crazy extreme to go to.
It's the only extreme I know. But yes, I have tried both.
Yeah, no, well, listen, absolutely not.
And I will not be trying those again.
Well, of course not, because if you do, you're an absolute maniac.
Well,
with that being said, like I said, my final thoughts, and like I said, we'll give our final thoughts, and then we're gonna get up on out of here. But my final thoughts on press conference, I'm gonna say now more than ever, I'm gonna preach patience, because I mean, at this point, like I said, we're dealing with new ownership. However, we're not dealing with people who are just inheriting this thing that they have no idea about. We need to go ahead and allow them to get their bearings, let them understand exactly how things are going, and make sure that we're giving them the space to be able to do this. Because like I said, if there's anybody who's qualified to run this team or potentially be able to step in and make sure that this team is running at maximum efficiency, it's these girls. And like I said, and honestly, to those out there who are saying, oh yeah, but they're girls and they're women, grow the hell up. Because at the end of the day, those three women are more qualified to run this organization than any of the neckbeards who believe that they can do a better job just because of the fact that they're in year 3 of a Madden franchise on PlayStation. So please do better, okay? Let these girls go out there and do what they're gonna do. Let these women go out there and do what they're gonna do, and make sure that you cheer for them, make sure that you root for them, and make sure that you're there supporting them the way that you supported Irsay, the way that you supported this team, even when Jamersay was in power. So that's what I have to say in regards to that. But go ahead.
I'm not going to say anything else on the press conference and the girls that we haven't already said. I definitely like your final thought, and you're 100% right. Anybody that is saying that it's not going to work out because they're girls, just go hide in a closet because you don't understand the real world. And when
Yeah.
you do, it's gonna make you cry. So might as well just go in that closet because you're soft-skinned, and yeah, this world's not for you if that's the way you think.
Mm.
But my final thoughts are going to go to AR because I still believe in him. I'm worried, sick to death that it's something more than just soreness, but I'm going to hope and pray that it's not. If he wants the CBD cream, I'll send it to him for free. We'll get that soreness gone, and we'll get back on the winning track. That's what I'm looking for. Other than that, I definitely want to appreciate everybody out there in the Wells area listening. Thanks for letting us into your lives. Hope you've enjoyed.
Yes.
Hope you'll come back to the live shows, make some comments, prove me right, prove Chris wrong, because you know he's wrong. I didn't say I didn't say put a shrimp on the Barbie.
That's Australian.
That's Australian, 100%. But saying mate,
but you
calling somebody mate.
You said it with the exact same accent that you said shrimp on the Barbie. The accent is what changes it. The accent, chat. Does the accent change the way that you say mate? Because there's a difference between Crocodile Dundee mate and Harry Potter mate. Okay, so there's a big difference between the two.
Now you're just trying to prove your point. And the point is, you're wrong.
What do you mean?
I'm right. Cut us out of here, Sammy.
I'm always right.
Hey.
Oh, by the way, make sure you go on to Twitter to go to @SickPodCoast. Make sure that you're liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, all in there. And then also, Pat, where can the people find you?
@BigPColts on the X.
Awful. And you can find me @CJColtsFan on Twitter. Don't ever make that face again. That is.
I thought you was going to come back because I said the X. I was waiting for something from you.
Awful. That was awful. Listen. We will see you next week. Make sure that you're going to, I think it's Visit Indy, for the QR code. Make sure if you're watching this live or if you're watching the recording of this, you'll probably see the QR code posted up there. Make sure that you go on there. Yep, right there. So make sure that you scan that. Make sure that you subscribe where you can find out all the things happening in Indy. You can get tickets through there, I believe, and then you'll also be able to see all attractions and events.
Yeah. Restaurants, bars, hotels, anything you want to know when coming into Indy, that's the QR code for you. You don't need to ask nobody. You don't need to have a special inside guy. That QR code right there will take care of you.
Yep. And if you're going to be listening to this tomorrow, you can listen to it on YouTube, or you can actually go onto z103.com and you'll be able to listen to the pre-recorded episode. I believe it airs at 12 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
12 p.m. Eastern time, 11 a.m. Central. And you can also listen on Mix 105. Make sure that you're going to both of them. If you don't have the z103.com app, you can see it on your Play Store or Apple Music Store, whatever you do. Just look up z103.com. But other than that, we've kept you long enough. We appreciate you. We will see you next week. And in the meantime, Sammy, take us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast and Bill Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.